Alright, it is April 10th, a Saturday morning, and I'm ready for my half marathon run. This week's running prospects was not great. I didn't actually run since like last Saturday, but I've had badminton practice Monday through Friday, so I'm still getting my exercises in, just not a lot of running. But I am feeling a little bit sore from badminton because it's some muscles that I haven't used in like a year. So the running might suck a little bit, but I'll use the first few miles to warm up. It shouldn't be a big deal. I know that my body has been really fit. I gotta trust my training in the last 14 weeks to carry myself through this, so I'm not worried at all. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on talking and try to focus on my run. I'm gonna warm up for a little bit, and yeah, I will talk a little bit more after I get back after my run, after I shower and have a little more time to digest this big milestone. Yeah. Alright, I'm ready to go. Hopefully my GoPro will not fail me. I can actually document the whole thing and get some good footages. The sun's already out, so I'm out a little later than I would have liked, but that's not a big deal. It's still pretty chilly out, so let's get it. I'll have a quick narration to go along with each time warp so that they're not too boring, but also for me to document how I was feeling and what I was thinking during each segment of the entire run. Okay, I'm not sure if this video was safe because it was saying that I have some issue with my SD card. Well, I'm 2 miles in. I'm not sure how much footage I got and if this one was safe, but hopefully everything's good. But if not, I'm just gonna enjoy my run then. So yeah, like I was saying, I had some issue with my SD card formatting. I still don't know what the issue is, but you'll see me again at mile 5 and not after that, not until the second leg of the run. So I lost a lot of footage, but hey, you live and you learn. And I was quite frustrated at the time, but it's all good now. 5 miles done, settling into a bit of a groove. So strides are feeling really confident and strong. So hopefully I can keep this up, getting closer and closer to the halfway point. Okay, so I came down here and took a short break at this beautiful creek, but I'm just about 7 miles in, so halfway there. But I think GoPro messed up a lot of my footage in this half, so I might have been able to film anything. I don't know. You have to go home and go through everything and see what I can put together. But for the next portion of the run, I think I will just put a time warp on everything and maybe check in every mile or so. But really, it's just to focus on my running a lot more and to give myself some time to getting my own headspace and reflect on what I've done in the past 14 weeks or so, and you know, to kind of wrap my head around everything that's been happening. So yeah, it's always good to have some quiet time for reflection, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, I lied. I was at this really pretty trail, so I wanted to film a little bit more of a handheld view, but it was really wobbly and my filming techniques were not great. But here's a very heavily edited segment of what was watchable from this trail. 8 miles done. That means I'm running to my last quarter. Definitely very exciting. Mile 8 to 9 was probably a bit of a turning point. I started off really strong and solid, but the lactic acid buildup was just starting to feel too much to me. I was even resorted to listening to music to stop the kind of overwhelming pain at this point.
9 miles in, whew, a lot of things are aching. Listening to some music to try to distract myself, but just waiting for the adrenaline to kick in. Just keep on.
This mile was marked by fatigue and exhaustion. I was still running strong, but I felt that with each stride out, my legs were getting weaker and weaker. And at this point, I kind of knew that the mileage was catching up with my body, and it was going to end a little ugly.
Mile 10. Wow, feels good to run this far and still running strong.
Wow, that was an aggressive punch, but right here, the adrenaline I was talking about earlier really kicked in, and for a minute, I felt like I was just flowing on top of clouds, but after the minute ended, I just crashed. I was starting to run on sheer power from this point and on.
11 miles in, the fatigue is definitely setting in. So, come on, Tommy. Push through this.
The really interesting thing here is that I started addressing myself by Tommy. I never do that. It's almost like my mind is elevating above my body and it's fighting a battle of its own and also watching down on my body on autopilot and running from a third-person angle.
Just about 12 miles in, tired, but one more mile to go. That's it. So excited. Come on. Let's finish strong, Tommy.
Here, my body and mind were practically shutting off now, but the excitement of finishing this entire 14 weeks of running and this entire half marathon was just irresistible. And here comes probably my favorite clip out of these entire 14 weeks.
Oh my god, I really finished it. For the last like 2-ish miles, I was just running on sheer willpower, but oh my god, what a journey it has been. Very happy that I'm able to keep to all of my goals and to finish this entire plan training very strong. So my brain is really fried right now, so I'll go home, hydrate, eat a little bit, shower, and I'll do a reflection of this run, this past 14 months, and the entire running journey. So happy. Alright, this is the same day, but later in the afternoon. I ate, hydrated, showered, and rested for a long time. And oh, actually, I think I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore on the first day of this training plan, but I'll search up a footage and see if it was. But I ran 13.1 miles, which calculates out just to be 21 kilometers earlier this morning in 1 hour and 53 minutes, I think it was, or 8:40 minute per mile pace. 5:23 minute per kilometer pace, which is not the sub 8 minute half marathon pace I was looking for, but I finished and that's all I was going for earlier this morning. But I ran a relative negative splits. I think I started at around, I'll put the pace chart over here. I started at around 9 minutes per mile, maybe 9:10, and I ended up around 8:20 minutes per mile. There was, I think the 7th mile was at 9:20 pace. I don't know what happened there. I think it was on the trails, so there was a lot of elevation gain and ups and downs and whatnot, so I was slowing down by a lot. But I actually stopped a few times in the middle, so this time is not counting rest, sorry. I was trying to figure out my GoPro and things like that, and the traffic stops, and those always pause the run, so 1:53 isn't like an accurate time, but it's the best I've got. What else? the most of the run actually felt really great. I think I hit a wall at just around 9.5 miles, mile 10. Before that, everything was just feeling great. I was in a groove and I was just running. But after that, everything just started to ache. My knees, my ankles, my calves, my thighs, my hamstring was starting to ache, and that blister I've been nagging me for a few weeks was getting more raw too. I checked it this morning and it was very ugly. But yeah, in general, I was very happy with this run. Now I'm gonna take a look back at all 14 weeks of training and see, what progress I've made, what I could have done better, what's in the future, and yeah, let's look at all 70 runs that I did. Alright, in this past 15 weeks, 14 weeks plus the intermission, I did a total of 70 runs. That adds up to 276.65 miles of running. In metrics, that's 442.64 kilometers. A total of 37 hours of running at a pace of 825-ish minute per mile pace. I have two more benchmarks coming up, the mile and the 5K benchmark, but I don't know how soon I'll be able to do them considering the badminton schedule coming up. Hopefully I'll do them by Saturday and no later than that. But one more thing, I ran most of my runs through the Nike Pegasus 37 with the occasional Odyssey Flyknit and the Juniper Trail mixed in there. So very trusty pair of shoes, and I am getting closer to that, I think 400-mile goal that I set for myself for the year on that pair of shoe. Now looking back at this past 15 weeks, I'm really glad that I picked up it's probably the biggest project I've ever done in my life, both physically in terms of running, and kind of just life in general throughout this video making process. I really appreciated the consistency of running. Otherwise, I never would have been this fit after staying home for so long, and I would not have been very fit for the badminton season. So I really appreciate the physical challenge that I brought along, but also the video making component. I really learned a lot about editing, all the settings with GoPro, and just more comfortable with talking to a camera. So that is one part of this project that I really like as well. But moving forward, there is definitely a lot of things I can improve on, such as taking care of myself better when I'm going through an injury, how to hydrate and fuel better on a longer run, so eating or running with food and water. And what else? And maybe planning my runs a little better. Today I went out not really knowing what exact route I'm going to be taking. And I will definitely benefit a lot more with running with experienced coaches and teammates or friends, and definitely improve on my form a little bit more. But going forward, I'll focus a lot more on badminton, but still get to run a lot. Even though I'll miss the consistency and structure of a training plan, I'll definitely enjoy the freedom that the lack of one brings. So I can just, Saturday go out to a trail and run for 5 miles, and I'll definitely enjoy that a lot as well. But in general, I'm really glad that I picked up on this, and thank you if you're watching for the past 14 weeks and through to this point for this video. I really appreciate your support, my mom, my dad, and all of my friends. And yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to pick up another rigorous running plan like this again, and hopefully I'll do one for a full marathon soon. Again, thank you for following me throughout this entire running journey, and thank you, and I'll hopefully see you soon.